don't get there in time, and whoops, you got more people to deal with. Just throw them all in jail. Works out.
Jail is a good place.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we do actually, as well, already see this, like, so if a kid is high risk, our school systems, law enforcement will view that child or that person differently, even though they may have not done anything at all. Because they fit within a certain category, we already have this. Like, yes, obviously it is to an intense extreme.
Yes.
But as kind of those things of like, oh, as soon as you hear about a kid being a victim of abuse, we immediately go, that kid is going to grow up to do that to another child. Without so much of the, oh, you know what this means? That means we need to help them. This means we need to get them into therapy. This means we need to deal with them in a different way. But it's like they switch from being a person into a threat. And so, I don't know where I was going with that after that, but we do already see that kind of within our system.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is actually a bit before my time. Some people in this room probably were adults when this was going on, but who remembers Super Predators? That?
Yeah.
So it was this idea that certain people in our society were going to be the future criminals, and it tied into sort of the tough on crime era, and you did see some unethical treatment, and it was the dehumanization of people, and you're a potential threat, so we're going to get you for something small and make sure you're off the streets and in jail, where you aren't being socialized to be a criminal.
Nothing like that ever happened.
Yeah.
No one comes out work.
Work in the yard, right?
But that happened.
That was a thing?
We're tailing out of it, thank God. But it's still happening.
Yeah?
With,
Wow.
the over-policing of poor neighborhoods. That sort of thing.
Yeah, stereotype. I would like to think that's also a stereotyping type of deal. I know a lady who said once, she said, you can come from nothing and you can do nothing, or you can come from nothing and you can be something. And I feel like that was always, her motivational speech. She was the nicest lady I've ever met. And, it was her way of saying, don't live to your stereotype. So, yes.
I just feel like the discussion is kind of flip-flopping on whether the system should be accurate or not. At one point we're discussing whether this is entirely based on stereotypes that would in fact have no bearing and would just be the same as looking at someone's basic history of their family, the color of their skin, their background, what their parents do. And on the other side of it, we're treating it as though this system would in fact be any different than our current system. At what point is this number not, if this system that we're discussing is in fact completely the same as how we judge people visually and physically currently in the eyes of the law and as potential threats, then the system is entirely already in place. But if this is an actual system that would have anything new to it and could be used as a frame of reference that, for instance, would not need people to have the guts to call the phone when they see something going wrong, but would already preemptively, as soon as something has gone wrong, there would be a marked increase that would alert local authorities or something. If it was actually accurate, then I do think it would be valuable. But if we're discussing it as inherently inaccurate, then of course not.
Yeah. There's a lot of, every perfect system has flaws. And that's the big point of this. Yes.
I think there are two different questions being answered. The first one is a system like this possible at all, or just because of the way human beings work and our own implicit biases, is it just, is it a fig leaf for, those preconceptions? And the second question is, if it is possible, and we assume that, is it a good thing? The answer is also no.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I feel like the system preys on one of humans' worst instincts. I know I have a thing where as soon as I notice somebody has a gun on them, I cannot stop staring at it, and I'm constantly worried that they're going to pull it out, even if they're probably not even thinking, even in the back of their head. Now imagine if you knew somebody was going to commit a crime with 99% likelihood, it's going to trigger that same bad instinct.
Mhm.
And this is something where you need to have a different infrastructure than what we have, and the show definitely shows that you can't be tough on crime if you know crime's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to create our system, but with less flaws.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes.
It also depends on what we consider a crime. We already have a system in place in the United States with terrorism. Whether it works is up for debate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everyone's different definition of things. Yeah. Yes.
Also on the same note about us already having a system like that, we do every time you shop on Amazon. The credit card companies have an AI system that tracks each purchase you do, and if it's years enough from what the AI thinks would be something you would buy, all of a sudden it flags it as a possible criminal action. I actually experienced this once when I had been out of work for a little while, and then I got a new job that paid well, and instead of buying something for me, I decided to buy a gift for my wife. And I bought something that the system was like, oh, this is a really female item bought at a high price for someone who's not spending a lot of money. And I had to get escalated all the way up to their, just below their CEO level of Amazon in order for them to actually allow me to buy the certain item I purchased.
Wow.
So, we already have a system in place that's already punishing people according to algorithms that are monitoring what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had my wallet stolen once. It blocked my card immediately when somebody tried to use my stolen card to buy cigarettes. I don't smoke.
Nice. Yeah. Heck yeah. Yes.
That goes to the, we are now, because of our technology, we're a technology-based society, algorithms are definitely also a part of this, where they are either making us or breaking us. They're controlling what we see on our news, and it keeps us in all these different bubbles and everything like that as well. So it's kind of, not only are we being tracked on, what we're buying, but what we're seeing, what we're doing, and so it's kind of like
The version of reality we're getting.
it's yes, well, and it is the boil the frog effect, as we were talking about with pant sizes. We only see oh, this is a small change, and then a lot of these shows and a lot of what we've been talking about is noticing that we're in the midst of something, and what can we do to prevent this eventuality. It's the understanding of maybe sometimes it's not, there's a very vocal minorities on both sides in convincing the apathetic majority of how to move forward. And so I think with algorithms, everything just, if we are conscious, we can affect those things.
True. I've got one in the back, and then I'll get to you. Yes.
Instituting pre-crime will actually change how people respond to crime. If society knows that you can predict what crimes are going to happen, or there's an outlet for that, then people are going to not commit the crimes that they normally would have, or start committing crimes that might fall off of that radar. And something that pre-crime isn't taking into account is what happens if I'm about to commit that crime. I'm 99% likely, but I stop right beforehand and I learn that lesson and I share that. Or that becomes a part of my identity or cultural identity. Those types of lessons can't be learned, and so therefore people are stuck with the things they want to do, but they know that they don't have the power to do them. So the problems are under the surface, but still in society. This pre-crime is actually just adding pressure to who we actually are. And the ramifications of that can't be calculated. But all we know is that we're stopping certain individuals from making crime, but actually you're creating a second statistic of crimes that would happen because pre-crime exists.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
I found it interesting, the comment about the credit card stopping the purchase of cigarettes, and you think the immediate response, great, that saved me. But then you look at what are you willing to give up to have order, to have safety? And in that situation, I'm going, yay, they caught it, yay. But then you wind up with the other situation is the imposition of your ability to do other things outside the norm. And I think it's always kind of a push-pull in society as to how much safety and security we're willing to get versus the risk of freedom and choice.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. Everyone got a phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they know where you are at all times. Everyone use the internet. Everything you do is recording. Incognito mode. They know what you watch. Don't like fool yourself there. But literally everything you do
That's right, it's not
attached.
just watching.
Yeah, everything you do attached to any sort of like internet or anything, they already know. So if you think you have free will and or like someone Big Brother's not watching, Big Brother absolutely is. Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
God.
right now, if I talk enough about some product, I will get ads for that. And so, use Facebook, every social media outlet you use, someone's watching your every single move.
Open source is your friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not even talking about products. So I occasionally use the phrase syphilitic insanity to refer to things. And suddenly I started getting ads for syphilis treatments. Yeah, it's an issue. That and...
No, I need to put my phone away. I can hear you. Okay, now all of our phones think we have syphilis.
Say you bought an Alexa. Good job. You just gave Amazon something that listens to you continuously in your house and does not much for you other than let Amazon spy on you. You are paying to be spied on. Good job.
Yeah.
It's great for them. No, they need more money. They need all the money.
I would just like to throw out, I don't want to interrupt our discussions, but before we finish, could you go through the rest of the animes that you were talking about?
Oh yeah, I mean we still got a little bit of time. Like we can probably hit it. My one thing is we might get cut off on Attack on Titan, because I only have a couple more actually, and Tokyo Ghoul's one of them. Everyone seen Tokyo Ghoul? Most of them? Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. So. Basically, modern day Tokyo, you follow around Ken Kaneki, who's just a bookworm type of guy. He has a violent encounter with a ghoul, and ghouls look just like humans, but they have what I like to call bioweapons, and they eat human flesh. That's how they survive. They can't eat food, they puke it up. But they can't have coffee, apparently. One thing that hasn't changed ever is they can drink coffee. So there's a big body of people. Oh, I should warn you that at the end of this Tokyo Ghoul talk, there's a spoiler. But the CCG hunts down ghouls and kills them. And it's something I bring up is it's pretty much genocide because they don't take the time to try and figure out, motivations behind ghouls. Not all ghouls eat living humans. Some of them find humans that have already killed themselves. So, I mean, would you agree that that's a form of genocide? They just up and kill an entire culture or person because of who they are, even though they didn't necessarily choose it?
McDonald's the cow genocide then?
No, because they rebreed them so that they can eat them again.
Yeah.
It's controlled genocide.
You have to maintain a good population that you can kill off again to maintain the cycle.
Yes.
I think part of the reason that it is a show of genocide is also the fact that nobody's trying to figure out these people are sick. How can we help them not consume flesh? Because they're still people. When you see the utter dehumanization of the ghouls in general, even though we know they have feelings or feel very torn between the two of them. That's why everybody wears masks, is so they can't be figured out, and so they can blend in with society.
Yeah. And
as even we see, ghouls who are totally non-violent, as they can be, being hunted down, murdered, little children being killed and stuff. But it also goes to the fact of if authority sees something that could be a conflict or something dangerous.
Mhm.
They want to, like, this is quirks before it reaches the entire population.
Yes.
And that's kind of...
Yeah, that is what it is. Yes.
Are cats considered mouse genocide?
You can consider a lot of things genocide.
The what?
Yes.
They decimate native bird populations, actually. It's
One,
like a thing.
one cat drove an entire bird species to extinction.
Yes. Go ahead.
A good example of the genocide show is like the final season of Crazy World 3. The new boss in the CCG says, hey, let's just go kill all ghouls in plain sight. And like causes chaos throughout Tokyo.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one big thing. Yes.
I think there's a lot of conversation once again about control and power. You have ghouls who have all these powers, and then when they're killed, the CCG take their power and make it into their own weapons. How come they're not being destroyed? Oh, it's because they're not eating people. But the thing is, they don't invest the time to try to fix ghouls because they could use that excuse to continue to kill them to gain their weapon.
Yes.
So it's I mean, like, obviously genocide's bad, and we all know that. But the thing that I think a lot of people are omitting is, first off, this is an absolute fantasy tale, and so, you know, where these people do have emotions, they all have the same emotion that they want to kill and eat people. It's different, and they learn to repress it. But at the end of the day, these ghouls want to kill and eat people, and so maybe there's a point in time where they tried the let's rehabilitate them, but maybe it works well for a generation, and they go unmonitored or unbrainwashed basically to learn to control their emotions, and then you have all these mass murderers that eat people, and I mean they literally eat people. They're literally all serial murderers. And some of them are good, and we focus more on the story on the good ones, but they are all still serial murderers.
Yeah.
At heart.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like closer, like, real-world analogy to being a ghoul is the inability to have empathy, or psychopathy, or sociopathy. I forget which one's which. But, like... Sociopathy. Yeah, okay, it's sociopathy. But, like... they obviously have far more control than a ghoul does. They're not going to starve to death because they can't connect with somebody, unless you consider emotional starvation or spiritual starvation. But, it's a very similar conundrum. It's like, there's these people that don't follow